What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 6, Run, Ellie, Run. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have my co-host, Heather.
Hey.
Hello. How's it going?
Going slowly.
Slowly.
It
So what did you think about this week's episode?
was not as amazing as the last one, but it was better than what we've seen this month, this season.
This season, yes. This season for sure. Fix the audio real quick. But it had some interest. Like, A's back, so there's some interesting stuff. Toby ran off into the house exploded, and we're left to think, like, Toby died.
We haven't seen him at all this episode, but people were talking to him.
They were talking to him and talking like he was mobile, like he was going places.
Mm-hmm.
So he's okay. He runs into a burning house that we see explode, and he's fine.
Yep.
They were even showing scene like in background when they were back in who lives next door to Allie? I don't even remember.
Spencer?
Spencer. They were in like Spencer's room or something, and the window on Spencer's room was like blown out because of the explosion. Mm-hmm. So the damage went outward from the house and affected the houses nearby.
Uh-huh.
But Toby's okay.
Yeah.
I
Lacrosse stick.
Really? We had to mention that again? You are the worst.
I will conveniently plug it into somewhere in every podcast when you least expect it. Every one of them. It will haunt you.
Yeah. So we're starting to find out what Melissa and Mr. Hastings were up to. We're
Slowly.
Little bits of pieces here. Apparently they went to the lake to talk, but we don't know what they talked about. We don't know if they actually really went there or if that's another story that they're covering their cover story with.
Right.
I do you think they actually went to the lake, or do you think that's just another story?
I have no idea. Like those two, I don't like Melissa.
Yeah, I don't like Mr. Hastings even more. Like,
Yeah.
Melissa she's not around a lot anymore, so I can't hate her as much.
Right.
Mr. Hastings is in our face lying to us.
I know. He's very, I don't know, he's just, there's something he's not saying. And honestly, I think it has to do with Radley.
Yeah, it definitely, because he was so butthurt about them, like, exploring into Radley. He wanted the place shut down last season.
And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, no, just leave it alone.
Yeah, so for him to want to go that deep and, like, completely bury something that happened in Radley, it's I don't know, like...
There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's all seemingly to revolve around Radley.
All we know about Radley is that Spencer was in Radley.
Mm-hmm.
Mona was in Radley.
Mm-hmm. Toby's mom was in Radley.
Toby's mom. Mrs. De Laurentiis was on, like, the board of directors.
Yep.
And this mystery girl, Bethany, was there.
Yep.
So all of that has to tie together. Bethany's probably the one that killed Toby's mom.
Somehow. Obviously, this episode, we got connections between Bethany and Miss De Laurentiis.
Yep. Yeah, because Arya and Ezra are going through some pages in his research and stuff like that. They're trying to find information. Mm-hmm. And mystery package gets dropped off
with the
drawings.
Creepy cop.
Yeah.
Hate that cop. I hate her.
Yeah, she's super creepy.
Yeah.
She does it well.
I don't like her face.
But she like always notices that one detail that she's not supposed to notice.
It's like the jacket and the purse.
Aria's purse, yeah. It's just like, yep, sure.
Just go to hell, lady. Go away.
But yeah. So we find out that the drawings that Ezra received were dropped off rather by Eddie Lamb.
Right.
And
because somebody's smart enough to still have a camera in the hallway.
Yeah, and Arya was still like confused and questioning why he would have it, and he's like, for reasons like this, protecting his research and whatnot. Right. But Eddie Spencer had previously talked to Eddie and tried to get information out of him, which she was able to do before. She's usually pretty good about squeezing information out on him. But he was not willing to talk this time.
Nope.
Why
So
is he willing to drop the stuff off to Ezra but not talk to Spencer? Do you think Mr. Hastings got to him?
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. It's really hard to say because there's just so much going on. Somebody has obviously bought him silence. Maybe it was Mr. Hastings. Maybe it was Melissa because Ren was there at one point, so she would know. Maybe it was Ren.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Ren as well, yeah.
Maybe it was A. Maybe A knows Eddie. Maybe Eddie knows who A is, but doesn't know that's who A is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
And maybe
do you think Eddie's working with A, or do you think he may be working
I
with
don't
Ezra?
think
Or
I don't think I think he's more helping Ezra because of everything he's done in the past. Like I want to believe that is the one person. I almost said something completely different. And you know what I was about to say. I want to believe that is like the one person in the entire show that isn't a two-timing whore.
Caleb, I was gonna say Caleb wasn't, but he was when he went off to Ravenswood
He went to Ravenswood.
and was with what's her face? I don't even remember her name anymore.
Miranda?
Yeah, perfect. Two-timing whore. But yeah, I guess. Then Ezra and Arya seem to be on the outs again. Just when we thought they got back together, they're not.
Arya's trying to be Miss Tough Ass because she got caught by Spencer.
Yeah, exactly. It's because she's
all
listening to
she's doing.
Spencer and not herself.
That's it.
So. Then also on the relationship front, Travis and Hannah broke up, which makes things very convenient for Caleb.
Yeah, very. I mean, I seen some clips from next week's episode of Caleb and Hannah that are definitely kind of spicy.
Ooh. Hot
Ooh.
and heavy.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So what is up with Hannah, like, offering to help Allie leave? Like, Allie is worried. She wants to leave. And Hannah just throws at her, like, a stack of 20s. There was at least $1,000 there.
Like, here's the thing with Hannah. Before Allie, she was hefty Hannah. She was fat girl. Then Allie got a hold of her, and Allie turned her into the queen bee. She turned her into
The bee's knees.
another Allison. So when Allie was gone, Hannah became what Allie was, and she became something that she never thought she could be. Then when this thing with Allison started to come up again, she started to realize that she's just Allison. She's just as bad as Allison, stealing, lying, whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Allison's back, she's trying to change into somebody that she feels is more her. But she was happier when Allie wasn't there. So she's trying to push Allie out because she doesn't want Allie there. I mean, she openly admitted it this time around that I do not want Allie here.
Yeah, Hannah's not going to get her wish, though.
No.
$1,000 is not going to be enough.
Emily isn't going to go for it.
No, well, it's not only that, but A literally sent a text message to them that showed a picture or video of him burying Mrs. De Laurentiis.
Right.
And the message said, "I buried your mom the same way I watched her bury you." A.
Right.
Which kind of means it's someone who's been in town for a while now. It's not like somebody who just randomly showed up new.
And the other thing is that this also means it can't be Mona. It can't be Lucas or any of them because, like, Mona, Shauna, and all of them were in New York or Philly when Miss D was taken.
Was Mona in New York?
She was in New York. She was in New York City because remember they thought that the girls were there. So she was getting those groups of people together. No, she was in Philly.
Yeah.
Mona was in Philly. The girls and Shauna
We're in New
and
York.
were in New York. Jenna was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lucas, Paige, Melissa. They were all in Philly.
Melissa was on a flight, wasn't she? Or I don't know where she was exactly.
Nobody knows. She walked in a little late. But
So she could have done it for all we know.
she could have. But so it wasn't one of the normal suspects because they all were somewhere.
Yeah, but going like even further now, like we got to look at characters that were around or had the ability to be around. Like I know it's probably not him. Let's just say Travis, for example.
Yeah.
Travis lives in the area, so like even though he wasn't around in the first few seasons, he technically could have been.
I know who it was.
You know who A is?
Kickboxing man
Oh, you got to bring him up too.
with the lacrosse stick.
Did he kickbox the
The
lacrosse stick?
lacrosse stick.
I don't even remember his name. That's how important he was.
He was just a fling.
He just kickboxed a stack of knives, and that was the end of him.
That was it. That was it. He's just gone.
He better come back.
Yeah.
Like, I need to see him back at some point, and I want to see like him not be able to walk properly. That would make my day.
Laptop is like teeter-tottering. I'm so sorry.
Now, do you think Ezra did that to his bag? Like, because we never really got to talk about that, but
Never,
now
like, it
that
never
came up.
came up again. Like, I mean, we saw Ezra getting downright shitty with some girl in a car.
Hmm.
Remember? I mean, Ezra's definitely got a mean side to him.
Yeah, but
We
enough to
have
do
seen
that? I don't know. That doesn't really completely seem like an Ezra thing. And it never came back to bite him in the ass. Like, because that kid never came back around to tell Alice, or tell Ezra. I mean, to tell Arya. Jeez, names, difficult.
No,
So, I don't think we've seen the last of him. I'm hoping,
no, I hope,
I'm hoping he shows up this season.
like that's the thing is like there's so much that goes on in the show, and the producers and writers are always so good at tying up everything,
Lacrosse
except for
sticks.
those two things.
Yeah.
Two things that they just left in limbo, and I'm just kind of like, guys. I mean, unless they're pulling a supernatural where they make a hint at something and then they bring it back like
5
8
seasons later. Yeah. They could do that. Season 3, something happened. And then season 9, so it was like 6 seasons later, something like that.
Yeah, like Spencer walks out of her house and trips over a lacrosse stick. Like, seriously.
We'll get a flashback. I don't know. I really have to go back because I feel like the lacrosse stick may have been answered somewhere and maybe we're just
It was
forgetting
so
about
long ago.
it. Yeah. But they definitely, the kickboxer, we don't know what happened to him, that's for sure.
He's just poof, gone.
But Paige, this episode, she's getting less and less annoying for me. Like, I don't mind her anymore.
The only reason, like, she almost pissed me off when she was like, I'm not telling you anything. And
Then she ratted out Mona's army.
yeah, which is good, which is like the girl's first freaking
Redeeming
hint
thing, yeah.
at what's going on, you know? I mean, obviously Paige is being watched because rat. Did you eat my last piece of gum, you shithead?
Oh, sorry.
What did I tell you, Dom? Stay out of my stuff. You ate my gum.
I just reached through the computer, grabbed it. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, like, so, but now they know. They know Melissa is part of it.
Right. Well, they did
You know?
before. Wasn't she part of the, whatever the club was, AV club?
The NAT club.
Yeah, that.
That's all they had on her. They didn't know she was with Mona.
Mm,
You know, because Mona wasn't part of NAT.
right.
Mona's not old enough for that.
Or is she?
Where is she? Bum, bum, bum.
Maybe Mona's like a vampire or something.
Maybe.
That would really bring the show into like some weird territory and probably lose all its viewership.
Right?
Yeah, so A ended up attacking Allie.
Woo!
Emily came to the rescue.
Almost killed Allie.
Almost killed her. Yeah.
Most.
So now it looks like Allie's not going anywhere, so Hannah's not going to get her wish.
Nope.
It did look like a female that was
Did.
attacking.
It did. We're finally starting to get hints as to male, female. Like for the longest time, it looked male.
Yeah.
But I think that was more along the lines of I think they were just putting somebody in the suit just to put somebody in the suit
I
because
still
it's
think
not a
they are. And
yeah
I think
because
it's
it's not a
different people. Because, like, the
yeah
season 1A was Mona.
cute yeah
In the black outfit, everything. Like, that was Mona. We
yeah
know that for a fact. So I think A keeps changing here and there. And it's depending on who's being super secretive. But right now, whoever's attacking the girls or whatever is
that's
female.
A
Yeah. I don't know
yeah.
if it's necessarily the A. It is an A.
Well, let's do a roll call. Where was everybody that night?
Right now, I think it's Melissa or Mona.
Yeah, definitely.
Mona seems like the obvious choice, so I'm gonna go with Melissa. Um,
Mona was already A
but then for all we know, it could be Jenna, and she's faking her blindness.
again.
Hmm. So,
Wouldn't be the first time she did something like that.
yeah. Then they get a note saying that if Allison left, she would die.
Yeah.
So A just tried to kill her, but now saying, if you leave, I'm gonna kill you.
Yep.
What's her incentive to stay?
Well, I think what it was she was at the house getting things. Like she was getting things to leave, and the text was, "Now you see how easy it is for me to kill you if you leave."
Right, but I'm pretty sure A would have killed Ellie if Emily didn't show up.
Who knows?
We don't.
We don't know. I mean,
But why would A possibly want Allison alive?
well, look at what the last text at the very end said. Caged bird will sing.
Oh,
Not your text.
I had to check. I don't know.
I mean, it did say caged bird will sing. So obviously A wants something
Ellie
to
in
be
jail.
told.
A wants Ellie in jail.
Yeah. She wants something told and she wants retribution for something.
Hmm. Because the police seem to be getting closer and closer now to realizing that Allie's lying, and realize everybody else around her is covering things up. Like
Right.
the what we mentioned already with Ezra's apartment and the
Right.
female cop there. She was at Radley.
I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either.
I just call her resting bitch face.
Yeah, I could probably look it up and things would be good, but I don't really. Her name's not too important to me.
She's annoying. I don't like her. She's always in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Um.
She was at Radley.
Yeah, she was at Radley. Then she was questioning um, Allison. We saw the police notice when they announced Bethany said that Allison was allegedly kidnapped. So there's all hints going around that the police don't really believe that story. It's
Yeah.
only a matter of time, I think, before they find out. But do you think A knows about Arya killing Shauna?
Yes.
Do you think that's going to come up? Do you think Arya's going to get in trouble for that?
I think like my thing is I think that the cops have some kind of hint or something from A maybe or somebody, and they don't have the full story, so they know that there's something there,
Hmm.
but they don't know what it is. I mean, like when Resting Bitch Face was over Ezra, and she was like, "It's really funny because we found residue from a gun on her hand on Shauna's hands," and he's like, "I was mugged." You know, they
What was
obviously
the
aren't.
question? That was his
Yeah.
response to
What
that.
was the question?
I'm sorry, what was the question? And then she just like completely asked something different.
Yeah. And you know, like she knows something is up and somebody is lying, but I think she's more trying to find the weak link.
Yeah.
Who's gonna spill it? And honestly, I'm afraid for Arya. If
Yeah.
she gets cornered by resting bitch face, it's done.
It is because Arya's already feeling guilty,
Yeah.
and
I don't think she'd be able to hold it together.
I don't think she would either.
And I think the other danger is Hannah. I'm worried that Hannah might be bitch enough to fucking say something to somebody if they asked,
I don't know.
just to get rid of Allison.
Not she wouldn't put Arya in harm's way for that though. I don't think so.
Hmm. Either way.
Yeah. Was it Spencer corners her father, or her father actually inadvertently cornered her, but then
Hmm.
she turned around and flipped it on her mother and forced them to sit down and talk and hash things out.
Yep.
And unfortunately, things are not going well for the Spencer household, for the
All it
Hastings
did,
household, the
all it
Spencer
did was
household.
result in Spencer's house,
Yeah,
Spencer's family. All it did was result in Spencer and her mom moving back to the house, but Daddy moving out.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's a little better. You get two people instead of one living there.
Yeah.
But no, I guess because Melissa and her father would have been living together, and Melissa's not going to live with them now because the mother doesn't trust Melissa either.
Mm-mm.
Um, do you think they're ever going to work things out, or do you think that's it? Those
You know
two are done.
what? Steven sat here and watched it with me for once because I didn't get a chance to watch it when it aired, so I had to go back and watch it later that night.
Mhm.
And, he was sitting here asking questions like, because he doesn't understand what's going on.
Right.
And I mean, he was asked, like, he was kind of like, well, why isn't she giving him another chance? And there's been lies. I mean, their work schedules put together. They have a terrible relationship because of that. He slept with the next door neighbor and had bastard child, possibly two bastard children,
Mm-hmm.
which one of them might be Bethany
Bethany.
and causing all this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, there's not. And I'm surprised she's still with him now, that she didn't leave him sooner, unless there was a reason that she couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's one of those things where I'm shocked she's even still with him. I mean, like, if I was a chick and my husband ran off with an next door neighbor and had illegitimate love babies, I would be like, bitch.
The way you started that out, if I was a chick, I was like, huh, interesting. Where is this going?
Done.
Yeah. But then you were like, and my husband. So yeah.
If I had a penis. Don't bite me.
That would be like me covering Beyonce's If I Were a Boy.
All you have to do is put on the little bathrobe and tuck it and cross your legs, and we'll play.
So I can't even completely like sweep it under the rug and like change the subject and move on because it's just like, oh my god, did that just happen?
It's just there. Did she really just make a Silence of the Lambs reference?
Speaking of Silence of the Lambs,
Oh, you're welcome.
look at that segue.
You're welcome.
The next episode is called The Silence of Elam. But we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in 1 second. I had to do that segue. But
it was perfect.
It was.
You're welcome.
But the final scene of the episode, we see A leaving a note. This is clearly female A.
Yes.
Like it's 100%. You could see the tits. You could see the elbow, the way it's shaped, like it's thin, like
the veil.
Yeah, it's the veil, everything. Like it's very.
It's female.
Feminine, yes, it's female.
100%. Gay man.
100%. She leaves condolence notes for Bethany's family and starts carrying some flowers. So, who do you think that is? Like, do you still like?
You know what? Right now, I'm really leaning towards Melissa because she is the least seen. Like nobody ever sees her unless she wants to be seen.
Now, was Melissa around for that other funeral? The cop, was it Weldon's funeral?
I I don't remember. I don't think so, but I do know that somebody was there in a black veil, which I do
Right.
believe is the same black veil that A just put on to go see Bethany.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking it's Melissa, because I don't believe Melissa was around then either.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a coincidence that Melissa just got back in and A is unpacking. I mean, the same could be said about Jenna, but I believe Jenna was around at the time of that other funeral.
Yeah, I think she was. Because she was with, no, she wasn't with Wilden. She was with Garrett.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So. Anyway, Silence of Elam. So, Eddie Lamb. Next episode. Arya begins her volunteer work at Radley. Oh, we forgot to mention that. Arya
Oh,
signed up at Radley for volunteer. So, I guess we'll see more of that this episode. But do you think she was the best candidate for that?
no, I think she's going to crack under freaking pressure and they're going to throw her ass in there.
Yeah, probably. Maybe that's how she'll get away with it. She'll plead insanity.
She might surprise us. She might find something really, because I know that we see in the teaser, we see more Bethany drawings.
Yeah, so she might be able to dig some up.
Hmm.
Maybe she has her head on straight for once. So Arya begins her volunteer work at Radley and quickly gets down to business finding any answer she can about a patient of interest to the liars. So obviously Bethany. She quickly hits a snag, of course, when she comes across an aggressive patient that may be the key to what the liars are looking for.
Hmm.
Aggressive patient. So I don't believe it's anybody we've come across. I don't believe it's anybody Spencer knows. I don't believe it could be somebody Mona knows. I'm sure it's tied to Mona
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
It's going to be tied to Bethany and Mona and maybe even Toby's mom.
and Mrs. Hastings. I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm really
Mrs.
hoping,
De Laurentiis. I did it again, but reversed.
I really hope that with this, they finally actually like close the Toby's mom
Yeah.
thing. Like, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the whole A thing or the Bethany thing, I would really like to see it get some closure.
The reason why I want to see it get some closure is because it took so much out of last season and went nowhere. It was like the most boring story that I've ever seen on this show, and it went nowhere.
Right.
What, they got a settlement. Ooh, big deal. Like Spencer said this episode, they would have preferred the truth.
Right.
So we'll see. Also searching for answers, Spencer takes a note from Ezra's playbook by borrowing some of his spy equipment to keep a closer eye on the home front. Surprising at a Spencer?
No.
No?
No.
Meanwhile, Hannah is caught at odds when Allie and Caleb butt heads. And Emily seeks help from her friends when her mom invites Allie over for dinner. So Allie and Emily are spending quite a bit of time together.
Cough, cough, in bed.
Yeah, Emily just sat up watching her all night.
That was really creepy.
Was.
Like, I will not lie. Like, seriously, Emily.
Super creepy.
Super creepy. Like, stalker status, bitch.
But Allie and Caleb butt heads.
I'm actually excited to see that.
We know that Caleb doesn't like her.
Right.
But.
Caleb doesn't like her because of what she does to Hannah.
Right. And Caleb just likes fighting with everybody. That's what Caleb's put on this show for.
I have come to a conclusion that I like Caleb better with his long hair than whatever the fuck he's got going on now.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I'd rather have it long.
I hated his long hair before because it's just like, it was so awkward.
Yeah, but at least it doesn't look like this.
It's just like, yeah, I guess. I don't know, it's because, like, I don't know. He wore it and it was, like, so flat and awkward on his head, and now whatever he's doing to his hair is, like, even more flat and awkward, so.
Right.
I don't know.
Except for the back, which is like...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Give him a comb.
Yeah. Like some gel or hair, some kind of hair product.
Right.
Put something in his hair.
Right.
Give him some volume or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think that about does it. You have anything else you want to add?
I just think Eddie is going to die.
Poor Eddie.
I know, and I really like Eddie because every time we see him, I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy, and I think he's gonna die because he's trying to help.
Rest in peace, Eddie Lamb. I don't think he's gonna die, but we'll see. The title could just mean he's really quiet.
Or somebody shuts him up.
Or he's just really quiet.
Or somebody shuts him up.
Or he's applying for a new job position to be a mime.
I like that one. We'll go with that one. Maybe he changes his name and he becomes a woman and wears a bathrobe.
Put the lotion on the skin.
Or else it gets the hose again.
Yes, indeed. Heather, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Alarisrea, OLARIS_RHEA.
You can find me down below, Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can check us out on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, rest in peace.
More lotion.
Hello, Clarice. What if the person that Arya, the angry patient, what if the angry patient's name is Clarice?
Or if it's Hannibal. What if she walks in and they have like a bottle of lotion? Like if I see a single bottle of lotion in that entire room, I'm gonna lose it. I'm going to lose it.
And then it cuts to a scene of like Ezra watering his garden.
Hey, where was Allison's puppy when she was getting attacked?
That's a good question. There it is.
I found it.